Hi, Liara.
Say hi back!
Just hanging out?
Yeah!
Kill me now.
I'm pretty sure that's a three-way choice that has the same dialogue option for each one. I hate when Mass Effect does that, by the way.
Oh, so it's Skyward Sword.
Uh,
Breh.
wait, did Skyward Sword have a strong dialogue?
It had dialogue options. They didn't do anything.
Oh. Well, yeah, but that's because you were a silent protagonist. I mean, this is a point where it gives you three things to say, and no matter what you pick, your character vocally expresses the same line in the same way.
Yes, sure thing. I agree.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
I still cannot believe all this.
Because you are a living person.
After me. Do you think
Now, we came here in the hope that Liara, as a Prothean expert, would be able to tell us some things about the beacon, but we also came here to find out whether or not she was involved with Benezia. You can show her blatant mistrust over that if you want, but it's not really worth doing, because all you'll end up doing is making her feel unnecessarily sad, because she actually isn't involved with her mother. There's a subplot in the latter two games involving Liara's father, question mark. It's complicated. They're all women, but the one that doesn't have the pregnancy is called the father. So
So
yeah.
you can be someone's mom and someone's dad in Mass Effect, if you're a sorry.
They would correct you on that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's still possible. Like
That's one of the things about Mass Effect aliens that makes them feel like aliens, is that there are concepts that are complicated and convoluted by human standards, but they just talk about them so matter-of-factly, and just sort of get kind of eye-rolly with you for misunderstanding them.
What's bizarre to us is natural to them.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Krogan.
Rex, what are you doing over there? Rex, how did you get over here?
Racist motherfucker.
Are you colorblind? He's clearly yellow.
Yeah, and you're an orange.
In case you didn't notice, this place is falling apart.
Oh, it is?
This is one of the points where I, just give up trying to be nice and pick the renegade options. Because this guy's an asshole. And he's an idiot.
Whatever it is you want, you are not getting it from me.
We don't have time to deal with this idiot. Charge!
That's not how you charge.
I don't know why that line's
Charge!
so
And
long.
by charge, I mean stand there and unload your weapons.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess if you're a Mega Man, it makes sense.
You see, it's like charge, action. Wait, now hold on. I gotta go through my options. There we go. Now, oh wait, no.
Do we have to do it now? Yes!
Now, Krogans are a nightmare on the highest difficulties, because they will almost always run up to you and use melee attacks over and over until you die.
So this game's brutes. Or you just fall over like that.
Also, Krogans are biotics.
What happened there?
Also, Krogans are biotics, so they can do the biotic thing
Okay,
too.
okay.
Yeah.
It's like you just lose all motor skills upon getting hit by
I just lost all feeling in my everything.
Oh man.
But definitely, I've beaten the game on insanity mode before, and the only enemy that gave me so much trouble, like I could handle the Geth, no problem, I could handle the Thresher Maws, but the only thing that gave me, like, absolute trouble was, like, if I saw a Krogan in the room, I was like, oh god, no.
That's when you
Not a
bust
Krogan.
out the lift spell instantly. Don't even hesitate. Just lift that bastard and shoot them before they land. Because if you leave them on the ground, on their feet, they are going to make your life hell.
And they tend to charge, like, they don't care about cover. They'll get to where you're going, they'll get to where you are, and they will just attack you relentlessly.
Yeah.
Ah, so how I play every first-person shooter.
So like brutes in Halo.
You know, why use a gun when the knife is so much better? Like
It is a one-hit kill.
Close quarters combat.
that still makes no sense. If your soldiers can only take red jam in the face from machine gun fire, but you get so much as like whacked with the knife and you instantly die, then like I know that the implication is that like you're stabbing them precisely with military precision, but the animation is just you going swipe, swipe, swipe. So I don't buy it.
Hey, that's how I got my one win as a solo player in just random deathmatch. Like 30 of my 40 kills were just nice.
It's kind of like playing Resident Evil 4. You see Leon and Krauser doing all this acrobatic knife bullshit in the QTE cutscenes, but when you actually use it, you have like one swing animation. And you can swing that animation up and down.
And goddamn, does it work?
I don't have a lot of experience dealing with your species, Commander. But I am grateful to you.
Right.
You saved my life back there. And not just from
This happens after like every main plot mission. You all sit yourself down in a mission debriefing room and talk about what just happened.
I'd have liked it if, like, in the middle there was like a little like campfire and there were just some marshmallows while they were talking about it.
Like a hologram campfire with hologram art.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is getting ridiculous, guys.
To be honest, I kind of miss these debriefing segments in Mass Effects 2 and 3. I understand why they're not there, because Mass Effect 2 has a ridiculous number of party members that you can possibly have at any given time, and trying to account for all of that in a big group therapy session would be, well, kind of a hard thing to balance for the game writers and programmers. So that's why you never see like more than 2 of them on screen at a time, unless it's the suicide mission where nobody's talking.
Why they disappeared. It is almost as if someone did not want the mystery solved. It is like someone came along after the Protheans were gone and cleansed the galaxy of clues.
Okay, we've recruited a tinfoil hatter. Okay.
I thought that this was like everyone's favorite character.
Yeah, but she's the first person to give you hints about the Reaper extinction cycle. So Liara's good at her job, but in Mass Effect 1 she's very socially withdrawn because she's spent most of her time in dig sites and stuff, just studying artifacts and whatnot. So she has no idea how to talk to people.
Yeah.
And that's part of what makes her transition in Mass Effect 2 a bit unfortunate without an actual transition there, because you don't really get to see or get a genuine sense for how she came to be more of a, well, fluent talker and,
Social
well,
butterfly?
comfortable enough at talking to people that she can be genuinely intimidating, I guess you would say.
Yeah, like, I find in 2 and 3 she's definitely a lot more hardened. Like, she feels a lot more intense. She doesn't take things so lightly. Like, you could say in the first Mass Effect, she's almost like a high school scientist girl. Like, she's almost like the young kawaii, you know. I don't know why I said kawaii. But she's supposed to be like the younger one of the group here. Even though, like, there's literally a conversation in Mass Effect 1 where she states that she's over 100 years old. She's over 100 years old, but that's young in comparison to the Asari. Like, that's a young Asari in with her species. So she's, like, really young. She doesn't really know how the rest of the world works. She's very shy, and she doesn't know how to talk to people. But then you get to Mass Effect 2 and 3, and she's kind of made a name for herself, and she's very dedicated to stopping the Reapers, and she doesn't take crap from anyone. And they're almost 2 different characters a little bit.
Yeah. Like, if it wasn't if it wasn't the same voice actress doing both of them, it would be hard to tell that they were supposed to be the same character, you know?
Yeah. She's so much more timid in Mass Effect 1.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that kind of transition can't work, I'm just saying it doesn't work the way it's presented entirely. It's kind of like going from Resident Evil 2 to Resident Evil 4 to Resident Evil Degeneration, and then to Resident Evil 6, where Leon is like 4 different people because Capcom can't write consistent characterization for crap.
I think it, I think what it might be is just, like you said, that there's, like, this game and then a comic book that's supposed to kind of tie her with the other games.
Yeah, but the comic book only covers a very short space of time, and it doesn't do a very good job of showing the transition.
And you would say that Liara is has a pretty consistent personality throughout this game as well, right?
She has a consistent personality within Mass Effect 1. She has a consistent personality within Mass Effects 2 and 3. And then there's this big 2-year gap between the 2 games where, well, something must have happened to change her way of acting, but you don't really get a good sense for what happened. And it's kind of disconcerting. Actually, in Lair of the Shadow Broker, they slightly redeem themselves by giving Shepard a chance to actually express his or her discomfort with the shift. Like when Liara acts ruthlessly, you can sort of take her by the arm, like, whoa, dial it back, bring it in, you know.
I think it's just like, because I'm thinking mostly TV shows, I think you can see characters who have a massive change in personality, like from season 1 to season, like, I don't know, 8 or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
it's always very gradual. Like, if any of you guys have ever watched Buffy or Angel, Wesley,
Yeah.
Wesley in Buffy and the beginning of Angel is nothing like how he is at the end of Angel, but
No.
that's also like 5 seasons worth of character development.
Yeah.
And also screw Connor, because I mentioned Angel, and fuck that guy, I hate him. Jesus Christ. Sorry.
This is also a regular event after main plot missions, where you get your debriefing with the council. One of the running jokes is that you can hang up on them when they piss you off. These are your bosses.
Will you accept the charges? No.
Whenever you see disconnect down there, that's giving you the option to literally just hang up on them. And later games will make fun of that. Like in Mass Effect, I think it's in Mass Effect 3, Joker offers to get the council on the line so that you can hang up on them for old time's sake. And but you really will want to hang up on them by the third time this happens, because no matter what you do, no matter what choices that you make in this goddamn game, the council always finds a reason to complain about you.
Yeah. One of my favorite jokes is that after you disconnect them the first time, the second time you have another conference, the council will be like, "Now don't you ever hang up on us again, Shepard." And you can go, "Sorry, cutting out."
If you do it frequently enough, one of the conversations starts with, "Are you calling us up just to hang up on us again?" And Shepard's answer, if you decide to hang up on them, is, "You know it."
So funny.
Man, you're a dick.
The council doesn't want to believe anything's wrong.
It's like imagining the president calling up like a general, being like, "Okay, we need to know about something," and they're just like, "Sorry, Mr. President, gotta go." Beep.
Considering where Washington is going right now, I wouldn't be surprised if that actually happened. So, yeah.
Well.
Shepard, did you
Shepard,
just come out
you're
of the
so- your
shower
face
or something?
It looks like her face is melting.
Like
Why
she
are we
put like
standing under this lamp? Let's move.
like she put
You're not hot? Not
crap.
really.
What's like that clear gel that you can put on for like sores or whatever?
Vaseline?
Vaseline. Yeah, it's like she just smeared Vaseline all over her face.
Well, we just get back from a life or death meeting where they were shooting laser balls around at us. Maybe she was trading some burns.
The new DLC skin pack. Vaseline. Come on, try it.
It's great for your complexion.
Anyway, there's a side comic that tells the story in depth that was written much later, I think. But Kaiden, he actually has a lot of stuff to tell you about the way humans, first reacted to biotics as they were discovering it and learning new things about it as a concept. One of the things that he's telling us about now is that there is some strong suspicion that that the phenomenon that causes human biotics to happen, accidental exposure to dust form element 0 in the atmosphere, was caused on purpose by certain elements within the government that wanted biotics to happen. This is never outright confirmed, but it is strongly implied that this was a very early Cerberus activity that happened, like the early precursor to Cerberus intentionally exploded containers of element 0 near Singapore and possibly other communities to make it happen. The monstrous thing about that is it has to happen in utero, and like maybe 1 in 10 of the infants who are exposed to that sort of thing actually survive and grow up healthy. Like, sure, you can come out of it with psychic powers, but sometimes you just wind up with brain cancer.
Okay, so you're not given. It's like you're born a mutant in X-Men. Only it happens on purpose. And people still
Inhuman.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your parents decide, okay, I want to give you psychic powers, but you still grow up in a world that hates and fears you.
Nobody's parents ever decided this. This was something that Cerberus apparently did to strengthen the human race. They exploded a large container of element 0 near a community, upwind from it, so that the dust form element 0 would get into the atmosphere and blow over the community, and pregnant women would breathe it in, and their babies would get sick and possibly grow up with superpowers.
Wow.
That's
a major human rights violation.
Yeah, it
Damn,
is. And
humans
Cerberus
suck.
is pretty big on that.
I was going to say, has that ever stopped any human before?
Humans are shit in this series. Well, I mean, they're shit everywhere, but
Cerberus is not connected to the government. They're an extremist group that might have started out as part of the government, but eventually splintered off as they became too extreme. It's a little difficult to explain because the portrayal of Cerberus is a bit inconsistent between games, but
What was it like?
yeah. Another thing that the government itself is plenty to blame for, though, is that the early attempts to teach biotics how to use their powers had to be done incognito because apparently the human government didn't want to appear weak and just wouldn't formally ask the alien governments for help figuring this stuff out. No, they hired a Turian mercenary to handle it for them, and he was an asshole. And Kaiden ended up accidentally killing him in a fury. So, yeah.
Talk again.
Oh yeah, and this is the point where you can hit the romance flag for Kaiden if you want him to be your love interest for the game. There are a couple places where you can do that.
And this game, does the game let you try to romance multiple people, or
you can, but you only really have Liara and the human of the opposite gender to choose from, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can't be all Persona 3 and one by one romance every girl that you see. All right.
Well, it's funny you say that, Ted. There is something that happens if you try romancing 2 people at a time.
Yeah.
Oh, did it catfight? Yeah. Awesome.
Well, yeah. I think there's there's a certain conversation that happens after a mission. I think maybe.
Yeah, either Liara and Ashley or Liara and Kaiden. You know, they stop you in the conference room to be like, we need to talk about this.
Ted, unfortunately, we're not running by human civilization rules, so cat fighting is 2 girls literally throwing cats at each other. So,
with their psychic powers.
With their psychic powers, yeah, it's a biotic effect.
That sounds like a Pokemon battle.
Probably my favorite thing that's ever come of that kind of two timing in a romance allowing video game. The Witcher 3. You can totally try to romance both Triss and Yennefer at the same time, two main love interests. And if you do, they sort of trick you into thinking you're getting a harem ending to the romance. They tie you to the bed. It's looking like some spicy BDSM action is about to go, but then they just leave you there. and Dandelion finds you. It's great.